There's a weapon that went from being the symbol of American crime to becoming the instrument of American liberation. A gun so feared by the Nazis that they specifically prohibited its use by their own forces, yet so coveted that German soldiers would risk court-martial to carry captured examples. This is the story of the Thompson submachine gun, the Tommy gun, a weapon that transformed from the gangster's choice in Prohibition-era Chicago to the liberator's tool on the beaches of Normandy. It's the forgotten Allied weapon that terrified the Nazis, not because of its size or power, but because of what it represented: the industrial might and innovative spirit of a nation that refused to be conquered. The Thompson submachine gun's journey to World War II began in the mind of a retired U.S. Army general named John Taliaferro Thompson. In 1916, as World War I raged across Europe, Thompson envisioned a weapon that could break the deadly stalemate of trench warfare. He called it a trench sweeper, a fully automatic weapon that individual soldiers could carry and operate, capable of clearing enemy positions with devastating firepower. Thompson partnered with Theodore Eickhoff to form the Auto Ordnance Corporation, and together they began developing what would become one of the most iconic weapons in history. The first Thompson prototypes emerged in 1918, but like many revolutionary weapons, it arrived just as the war it was designed for was ending. The armistice was signed before the Thompson could see combat in World War I, leaving its creators with a sophisticated weapon and no immediate military market. What happened next would define the gun's reputation for decades. It found its way into the hands of American criminals during Prohibition, becoming the weapon of choice for bootleggers, bank robbers, and gangsters throughout the 1920s and early 1930s. The Thompsons' association with organized crime wasn't accidental. It was a perfect storm of availability, capability, and circumstance. The weapon was legally available for civilian purchase, costing about $200 in the 1920s, equivalent to roughly $3,000 today. While expensive, this price was easily affordable for successful criminal organizations flush with prohibition profits. The gun's compact size, devastating firepower, and reliability made it ideal for the violent turf wars and bank robberies that characterized the era. Names like Al Capone, John Dillinger, and Bonnie and Clyde became forever linked with the distinctive sound and appearance of the Tommy gun. But the Thompsons' criminal reputation masked its exceptional engineering and manufacturing quality. The weapon featured a unique delayed blowback operating system using the Blish lock, a mechanism that allowed for smooth, controllable automatic fire. The gun was built like a piece of precision machinery, with tight tolerances and high-quality materials that made it incredibly reliable but also expensive to produce. Early models featured beautifully crafted wooden stocks, intricate machining, and attention to detail that reflected the craftsmanship standards of American manufacturing in the early 20th century. When World War II began, the United States military found itself desperately short of modern automatic weapons. The standard American infantry weapon was the M1 Garand rifle, an excellent semi-automatic weapon, but one that couldn't provide the rapid fire needed for close-quarters combat. American military planners, studying the effectiveness of German MP-40 submachine guns and Soviet PPSH weapons, realized they needed their own submachine gun for infantry forces. The Thompson, despite its criminal associations, was the obvious choice. It was American-made, proven, reliable, and already in limited production. The transformation of the Thompson from gangster weapon to military standard required significant modifications. The ornate, expensive early models had to be redesigned for mass production and military use. The complex Blish lock system was simplified to a straight blowback operation, reducing manufacturing costs and complexity. The beautiful but fragile drum magazines were largely replaced with simpler 20 and 30-round stick magazines that were more reliable in combat conditions. The wooden furniture was simplified, and manufacturing processes were streamlined to meet the enormous production demands of a world war. The military versions of the Thompson, designated M1 and M1A1, retained the weapon's legendary reliability while becoming much more practical for mass production. Auto Ordnance Corporation, along with Savage Arms, ramped up production to unprecedented levels. By the war's end, over 1.5 million Thompson submachine guns had been manufactured, making it one of the most widely produced automatic weapons in American military history. The gun that had once symbolized lawlessness was now being mass-produced to defend democracy. American forces first used the Thompson in significant numbers during the early Pacific campaigns, where its effectiveness in jungle warfare quickly became apparent. The weapon's ability to provide sustained automatic fire in close-quarters combat made it invaluable for clearing Japanese bunkers and fighting in the dense vegetation of islands like Guadalcanal and Tarawa. Marines and paratroopers particularly favored the Thompson, appreciating its stopping power and reliability in the harsh conditions of amphibious warfare. The Thompson's reputation among German forces was complex and telling. While Nazi propaganda dismissed American weapons as inferior products of a decadent industrial system, German soldiers who encountered the Thompson in combat had a very different opinion. Captured German documents and prisoner interrogations revealed that Wehrmacht troops considered the Thompson to be superior to their own MP-40 submachine gun in terms of reliability, accuracy, and stopping power. The 45 ACP cartridge used by the Thompson was significantly more powerful than the 9mm rounds fired by German submachine guns, giving it greater effectiveness at longer ranges. What truly terrified German commanders wasn't just the weapon's capabilities, but what it represented about American industrial capacity. The fact that the United States could produce over 1.5 million sophisticated automatic weapons while simultaneously building tanks, aircraft, ships, and countless other military equipment demonstrated an industrial capability that Germany simply couldn't match. German intelligence reports from the period show growing concern about American production capacity, with the widespread deployment of weapons like the Thompson serving as visible proof of America's ability to arm its forces with high-quality equipment. The psychological impact of the Thompson on both sides was significant. For American troops, carrying a Thompson was a source of pride and confidence. The weapon's association with American popular culture, from gangster movies to war correspondence reports, made it a symbol of American toughness and determination. The distinctive sound of a Thompson firing, a rapid controlled burst, rather than the higher-pitched chatter of other submachine guns, became associated with American forces advancing and winning battles. German soldiers, meanwhile, developed a healthy respect for the weapon's capabilities. Captured Thompsons were highly prized by Wehrmacht troops, despite official prohibitions against using enemy weapons. German soldiers who managed to acquire Thompsons often used them in preference to their issued weapons, leading to disciplinary problems and explicit orders forbidding the practice. The fact that German troops were willing to risk punishment to carry captured Thompsons speaks volumes about the weapon's reputation for effectiveness. The Thompson played crucial roles in some of the war's most significant battles. During the D-Day landings, paratroopers of the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions carried Thompsons as they jumped into occupied France, using the weapons to clear German positions and establish footholds for the invasion. In the Pacific, Marines used Thompsons to devastating effect during island-hopping campaigns, where the weapon's ability to provide immediate, overwhelming firepower was often the difference between success and failure in assaulting fortified positions. The weapon's versatility extended beyond infantry combat. Tank crews carried Thompsons for close-in defense. Aircraft crews used them for protection during emergency landings, and special operations forces appreciated their compact size and reliability for behind enemy lines missions. The Thompson became ubiquitous among American forces, appearing in every theater of the war and in the hands of every type of combat unit. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Thompson's World War II service was how it rehabilitated the weapon's reputation. The gun that had been associated with Al Capone and bank robberies was now carried by American heroes, liberating Europe and the Pacific. War correspondents like Ernie Pyle wrote about GIs carrying Thompsons, and the weapon appeared in countless photographs and newsreels showing American forces in action. The transformation was so complete that by war's end, the Thompson was seen as a symbol of American military might rather than criminal violence. The manufacturing story of the wartime Thompson is itself a testament to American industrial capability. Production facilities had to be rapidly expanded and converted from peacetime manufacturing to military production. Workers, many of them women entering the workforce for the first time, had to be trained to build sophisticated automatic weapons to exacting military specifications. The fact that quality remained high throughout this massive production increase demonstrated the effectiveness of American manufacturing systems and workforce capabilities. The Thompson's influence extended to Allied forces as well. British commandos and special operations forces were equipped with Thompsons through Lend-Lease programs, using them in raids across occupied Europe. Soviet forces received thousands of Thompsons, though they generally preferred their own PPSH submachine guns. Free French, Polish and other Allied forces also used Thompsons, making it truly an international symbol of resistance against fascism. The end of World War II marked the beginning of the Thompson's transition from frontline weapon to historical artifact. The development of cheaper, more efficient submachine guns like the M3 grease gun made the expensive Thompson obsolete for military use. However, its wartime service had permanently transformed its image from criminal weapon to patriotic symbol. The gun that had once terrorized American cities had become the weapon that helped liberate the world from fascism. The legacy of the Thompson submachine gun extends far beyond its military effectiveness. It represents the transformation of American society during World War II, from a nation struggling with internal crime and economic depression to a global superpower capable of projecting force anywhere in the world. The weapon's journey from Chicago speakeasies to Normandy beaches mirrors America's own journey from isolationism to global leadership. Today, the Thompson submachine gun is remembered not as the gangster's weapon of the 1920s, but as the liberator's tool of the 1940s. Museums around the world display Thompsons as symbols of Allied victory in World War II, and the weapon continues to appear in films and literature as an icon of American determination and industrial might. The gun that once terrified American citizens became the weapon that terrified Nazi Germany, proving that even the most unlikely tools can find redemption in the service of a just cause. If this story of transformation, redemption, and American industrial might has captivated you, please take a moment to like this video and share it with others who appreciate the complex history of warfare and technology. The Thompson submachine gun's journey from prohibited weapon to Allied hero deserves to be remembered and understood. Subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories of how weapons, technology, and history intersect in unexpected ways, and let us know in the comments what other forgotten weapons of World War II you'd like us to explore. Together, we can ensure that these important stories of innovation, transformation, and triumph continue to be told.